The trade deadline is a little over a week away and there's plenty of buzz already. On Tuesday, we took a look at perimeter players that could possibly help the Sixers. See story. Now, we take a look at a few big men that may be on the block that the team could target ahead of Feb. 7. Nikola MiroticWith Anthony Davis requesting a trade. It may behoove the Pelicans to start selling, a process they may already be trying to start. Mirotic has been banged up this year, but when he's played, he's been very good. He's averaging 16.7 points and 8.3 rebounds a game. He's also shooting threes at a 37% clip. His $12.5 million cap hit could be an impediment in a trade, but he's an intriguing option to play alongside Joel Embiid. Starting Mirotic at the 4 would move Wilson Chandler to the bench, but would allow the veteran to spend more time on the wing. Mirotic could also play some small ball 5. Noah Vonleh. Sixers reportedly had interest in Vonleh, but those reports were also shot down. A lottery pick in 2014, Vonleh hasn't lived up to that status, but he's made himself into a decent, modern NBA 5. He's shooting 37% from 3 and averaging 8.6 rebounds a game. He's dirt cheap, but with how Jonah Bolden has played as the backup 5, there's no need to overpay for Vonleh in a trade. He's an upgrade, but not enough of one to give up too much. Dwayne Dedmon, a former processed Sixer, has added the 3 to his game, hitting 37% this season. Dedmon does a lot of the little things you want from a backup center well. He's a good screener and roller, but doesn't offer much in terms of rim protection. With the Hawks winning far too many games, Dedmon will likely be moved. Again, Dedmon would be an upgrade, but no need to overspend. Thon Maker is only mentioned here because he's on the market and people have asked if the Sixers would be interested. I just don't see a fit at all. Maker wants out of Milwaukee to get more minutes. They'll be tough to come by on a playoff team with an all-star center. He's more likely to wind up on a team that can give him minutes and try to tap into his potential. Buyout candidates. Robin Lopez. What's killed Lopez's value is his inability to hit threes as teams have moved away from lumbering big men. What makes him a legitimate NBA commodity at this point in his career is his ability to play tough on ball defense and hit the offensive glass. His $14 million hit will likely prove difficult to move without attaching it to another player in a trade. If he's bought out, you could possibly bring him in for matchup purposes as a banger off your bench. Enes Kanter. Similar to Lopez, Kanter's style of play is just not conducive to the modern NBA. With that said, he possesses more offensive skill and is a better overall rebounder than Lopez. It's hard to envision a scenario in which Kanter isn't bought out with his huge cap number, over $18 million, and the Knicks' clear motivation to tank. He'd be a solid backup for Embiid, but another contender, someone like Charlotte, could likely offer him more minutes. Click here to download the My Teams app by NBC Sports. Receive comprehensive coverage of your teams and stream the Flyers, Sixers and Phillies games easily on your device. More on the Sixers. The Sixers' road victory over the Los Angeles Lakers, 121-105, came with a different offensive set to better aid Jimmy Butler in reaching his maximum potential as a Sixer. At times, Jimmy Butler ran the point. A few instances when Ben Simmons was resting, Jimmy Butler delegated with the ball in his hand, something Brett Brown teased before tip-off. You're going to continue to see Wilson at a 4 and a 3, Brown said. You'll see Jimmy as a point guard tonight. You'll see Corey as a 3 and a 2. You'll see Mike as a 5, Bolden out, and a 4. You'll see Ben more tilted at times to a 4. Brett Brown has openly admitted that he's been tasked with the rough job of fitting Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons and Jimmy Butler together while simultaneously making each one happy. Butler ball handling is a better opportunity for the ISOs and pick and rolls he wants, thus making him happy. I was hype, Butler said when Brown asked him to play the point. What does this mean for the Sixers? more reliability. Since the departure of Markelle Fultz, with thoracic outlet syndrome, the backup point guard has primarily been TJ McConnell. While McConnell's energy is electric, his 6.6 ppg average doesn't necessarily scream offensive or defensive juggernaut. Keeping his minutes under 20 per game will help the team on both ends. Not only does Jimmy at the 1 create more opportunities for him, it creates more work for Brett Brown. I have been calling more play calls than I ever have. Usually, we kind of let the ball chug out, the ball finds Joel, Ben does his thing and JJ moves. With the inclusion of Jimmy, I think it's incumbent upon me to try to place him in different places from time to time with these new rotations. Brown is trying to incorporate more Corey Brewer and sub the team in an effective way. He's also thinking about the playoffs. Giving Ben Simmons more time at the 4 and starting to place Jimmy at the point may be a plausible way to switch things up in a potential long 7-game series. Whatever helps the team win, Ben Simmons said before the game. It's new. I'm adjusting, but at the same time, I'm always up for the challenge. I think it's going to be great that I'll be able to move around on the floor and be in different positions for the team. Following up with Simmons after the game, he reiterated that Butler playing point while he's resting takes pressure off of him. While the Sixers had a rocky second quarter, they did not blow any leads out the locker room. That pressure off of Ben's shoulder can elevate this team that is already both 4th in the league in both points per game and rebounds per game and 2nd in assists. Click here to download the My Teams app by NBC Sports. Receive comprehensive coverage of your teams and stream the Flyers, Sixers and Phillies games easily on your device. More on the Sixers. For the past 3 games, we'd all finally forgotten, at least temporarily, about the constant process of developing the Sixers' 3 stars on offense. That changed Tuesday night, and not just because Joel Embiid and Jimmy Butler returned to the lineup in the Sixers' 121-105 win over the Lakers. See observations after missing Saturday's loss in Denver. Brown had said on Jan. 15 he expected that Butler and Embiid would be featured in more prominent ways, maybe than any pairing. The Butler-Embiid partnership now has a new, fascinating twist, as Butler played at the point guard spot when Simmons was on the bench. The early returns with Butler at the 1 were positive. Butler had 20 points on 7 for 9 shooting, 6 assists and just 1 turnover. The offense ran very well with him at the point. Butler-Embiid pick-and-rolls were a predictable, effective feature. I like what we saw when we gave him the ball, Brown told reporters in Los Angeles. We didn't really run complicated offense, it was quite simple in space. I thought he did a really good job with that. Even after Butler's 3 games on the sidelines with a sprained right wrist, it didn't appear like his understanding with Embiid on pick-and-rolls had regressed. If anything, it looked like the two are improving together, figuring out each other's tendencies and how to exploit defenses that overplay in anticipation of those preferences. I think he did an amazing job getting everybody open, especially the side pick and roll with me and him, Embiid said. I thought we executed that really well, but we still need to work on it to get better, but it was a good start. I thought it was amazing. The upside of using Butler as a point guard alongside Embiid is that it simplifies pick and rolls. Butler is able to attack the hoop downhill and the middleman is eliminated. The downside is the lineups when those two are off the floor. Los Angeles went on a 16-0 run in the second quarter, during which the Sixers played a team of TJ McConnell at the point, Corey Brewer and Landry Shamet on the wings, and Mike Muscala at center. Muscala should be able to slide over to the 4 once Jonah Bolden, who was out with a sore right Achilles, returns to the lineup. But on Tuesday, you sense the Sixers were just holding on whenever Embiid and Butler sat. Brown admitted as much, though he noted Muscala's contributions were key. Muscala posted 17 points against the Lakers, his 3rd best total of the season. You have a decision when you take JJ Redick out and Joel out and Jimmy Butler out, Brown said, and you have Ben, Mike, TJ, Landry, and Corey. You're waiting to get the big boys back in the game. Thought that group, Ben and company, did a good job and they kept the momentum going. I thought Mike had a really big putback during one of those periods. Mike was our bell ringer tonight. In an ideal world for the Sixers, using Butler at the 1 would cut into McConnell's minutes and allow him to provide his trademark spark and mid-range shooting without his defensive deficiencies and inability to space the floor being exposed as often. The solution of playing McConnell together with Simmons, though, does not look to be ideal. Brown will need to craft a more capable lineup to hold the Sixers over when Embiid and Butler are out. That might require staggering Reddick's playing time so that he can help Simmons carry the offensive load, and asking Shamet to run the point in some lineups instead of the McConnell. The central experiment, though, that of playing Butler is a point guard, is off to an encouraging start. Click here to download the My Teams app by NBC Sports. Receive comprehensive coverage of your teams and stream the Flyers, Sixers and Phillies games easily on your device. More on the Sixers.